Mrs. Cardona, can you hear me? You might need to unmute yourself. Are you able to hear me? Okay, so Ms. Cardona, you cannot hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, if you can hear me, that's great, but I cannot hear you. Do you have a unmute button?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Wonderful. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, I did have Mr. Evans here. Are you still here, Mr. Evans? Well, I get one and I lose the other. Mr. Evans, are you able to hear me, sir? He was here earlier. I show him still up on my screen. I was not able to physically see him, but I was able to hear him. Okay. All right, Mr. Evans, can you say something? Make sure I can hear you. Mr. Evans, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, well, I can barely hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, Ms. Cardona, you can still hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, all right, let's get started and see how far we can take this. Hopefully we can get through it. My name is Judge Woodruff, and this morning we are having an eviction hearing for number 1676. This is Tammy Cardona versus Jeremy Evans and all other occupants. This property is located at 2101 Giddings, apartment number 3. Is that the correct address?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, let's get everybody sworn in. So Mr. Evans, I can't see you, but go ahead and raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
I do.
All right, thank you. All right, just give me a second to get through all this.
I swear.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so Mrs. Cardona, you're asking for possession of the property due to a couple of things. One being abusive behavior, another for the cops being called, and another for destroying property. And you also say that the lease is up with Mr. Evans. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So Mr. Evans, I'm going to let Mrs. Cardona talk for until she's done. And then at the end, I'll give you an opportunity to talk about your situation as well. You understand that, Mr. Evans? Mr. Evans, did you hear me, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Did you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I heard
can.
everything up until you'll let her speak and then you'll give me a chance to speak.
Yes, sir. So once she's done speaking, I'll give you an opportunity to speak as well. I just don't want people interrupting each other because it makes it really difficult when it's on this Zoom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mrs. Cardona, go ahead and tell me a little bit about what's going on with the residents and why you're asking for possession of it.
Okay, basically, Your Honor, I mean, first off, the lease is up and it's just been ongoing issue for quite some time, and I've given plenty of opportunities for the situations to be corrected. Unfortunately, we have filed with the police department as well to get reports of all of the times that police have been called. As you can see, all the statements that you have from other tenants stating numerous times of the police being called. Windows have been busted out now in the property. They have animals on the property that are not supposed to be there. They've brought a cat into the house after I strictly told them not to. I mean, it's just an ongoing situation. I spoke with a tenant again this morning, and she stated to me again last night, they were up all night fighting, yelling, screaming. I've got children that live in this property, and people are afraid to even take their children out, as you can read the statements from tenants stating what I'm saying. So unfortunately, at this time, it's just become a situation where it's unsafe for my other tenants for them to be in this property any longer. And now they've not paid rent since December as well, because we filed this eviction on them.
Okay, so Ms. Cardona, when did your lease end with Mr. Evans?
Oh, the lease has been up for over a year and a half.
Okay, and what kind of notice did you give Mr. Cardona,
A
Mr.
30-day
Evans?
notice, the 30-day notice, which you have a copy of, Your Honor, as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Evans, how would you like to respond to that? Mr. Evans, are
Can you
you
hear
there?
me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir. Thank you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
I'm sorry, during her statement, it cut out probably 5 times and then cut back in. So it was jumbled, but I got the gist of it.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Oh, Mr. Evans, are you there? Mr.
all right,
Evans,
I'm back.
all right. Go ahead, sir. I can hear you.
Yes, she sent me a message at the beginning of December saying that we were going to be evicted and that she was going to send us a letter and everything, but we never got any of that. And come January, we got an actual eviction, so we knew that it was true. I don't want to argue about the schematics. The cops being called is mostly because of
All right, Mr. Evans, I've not been able to hear you, sir. Are you there, Mr. Evans?
hello.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Hello.
Are you able to hear me now, Mr. Evans?
Hello. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Answer this question for me. Are you still living in the property?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay. Now you do realize that Mrs. Cardona has done the proper steps in order to file the eviction. Do you understand that, sir?
I do, sir, yes.
Okay. So since we're having connection problems, I'm going to just get straight to the point. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to award this eviction in the favor of the Cardonas. Now, what that means for you is that you're going to have 2 options.
Sir, I lost connection. Could you?
Okay. I'm going to rule in favor for the eviction for Mrs. Cardona. Now, what that means for you is you have two options. The first option is that you can vacate the property, and you're going to have 5 days to do that. Now, the 5th day falls on the weekend, so you're actually going to have until next Monday, which is March the 15th. Did you hear that? Mr. Evans, did you copy that part?
It cut out right when you were saying the 5th day falls on the weekend.
Yes, sir. So you're going to have until next Monday to vacate the property. Now, if you do not vacate, then Mrs. Cardona on Tuesday, the 16th, she can come to the court and file for a writ of possession. Now that's going to be when the constable will come out and remove you and everything from the apartment, which is probably what you don't want to happen. So I would do your very best to try to find a new place by that date. That way you don't have that happen to you. You understand that, sir?
I did. It cut out right when you said that Tammy has but I think I know what you were trying to say. She has the option to get all my stuff and put it out on the curb by Tuesday. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. She can actually come and file for that on Tuesday. So it wouldn't happen on Tuesday, but she could come and file for that writ of possession on Tuesday, which is the 16th of March, sir. Okay, do you understand that, sir? Mr. Evans, did you copy that, sir?
I think so. Did you hear what I said?
No, sir, I didn't hear anything.
I said, I think I understand. I don't have a place to go just yet. The eviction memorandum, we thought it was until the 31st. So that's our fault. It's nobody's fault. But anyway, we'll cause no more issues and we'll try our best.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Evans. I wish you the best of luck, sir. Ms. Cardona, I appreciate your patience. I know that's really tough to sit through and have to try to listen to, but it's tough on both of our ends, I can promise you. So
Has he disconnected, Your Honor?
yes, well, I disconnected him.
Okay.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I've just never had to go any further than this. So I just want to make sure I understand correctly. On Tuesday, I can come down there and file the writ of the possession, and then I'll have to set up with the constable a time that's best for him and I to go out and remove them.
Well, that's sort of right. I'll explain it to you. So
Thank you, sir.
So let's say you wake up Tuesday morning and you drive by the apartment and you've noticed that they're still there, or they still have a lot of property there. Then you can come to the court, which is come to the JP.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to have to file for the writ of possession, and there's a fee to that. And
yes,
that
sir.
fee is paid to the constable's office. It's $205. It's $205. So if you come in the morning and do it, then there's a good chance we could get that done the same day and have it posted on their door. So
okay.
Once you fill the paperwork out and you pay, we're going to send it over to the constable's office. And then they're going to get that, and then they're going to drive out to the residence and they're going to stick a really large orange sticker on the door.
Okay.
And it's going to tell that they have 24 hours to vacate. Okay. So once that 24 hours is up, the constable will get in touch with you and they will have you meet them out there. And then at that point, let's say the doors are locked or something, and you have a key, you can give the key to the constable and they can unlock it and go in. And then they're gonna have you stand outside because they're gonna want to secure the house and make sure it's safe before anyone enters. And then at that point, you're gonna be responsible for removing the property and putting it out on the curb. The constable will not do that, but they will
Absolutely.
stand by and make sure that everybody is safe and that nothing happens.
Okay, and that answers a lot of questions, because the problem we're having is the cops have been called numerous times and they're ignoring the cops whenever the cops go to the door. So that's
Sure.
what concerns me, is if, they're even gonna open the door
Well,
whenever
here's the
we try
thing.
to enter.
Once that 24 hours is up, if they barricade the door or whatever the situation may be, then the constables have the authority to go ahead and kick that door in and get them out.
Okay, all
So
right.
this hiding behind the door is not gonna work once you get the rid of possession.
Okay, and usually once we file with the constable and everything, how many days does it usually take? Because I need to make arrangements to have either my maintenance man or my husband be off of work to where they can help me assist with moving them out.
Okay, so are you asking me when are they going to go out there and put the sticker on the door?
Well, I understand if I get there Tuesday morning, they would do that Tuesday, but then usually how many days after that is the process of
It's
actually
24 hours.
removing them?
After 24 hours, anytime after the 24 hours, they can go ahead and serve and go ahead and make entry into the apartment.
Okay, so I
And
can
that's
make
gonna,
arrangements
after
for
that
Wednesday.
24 hours, it'll be as quick as you want it to be. I mean,
Okay, so I can make arrangements for that following Thursday then, or would it be Wednesday?
well, they normally contact you is how normally it works, because once that 24 hours is up, they're gonna contact you. Because
Okay.
most people want to get in there right when that 24 hours is up.
Absolutely.
They don't want to wait another week or
No, sir.
a couple of days. They
No,
want
I've
to
already
get,
lost 3 months rent.
yeah, so they're going to call right after that 24 hours is up, and then they're going to make the arrangement with you.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't call them and right at that 24 hours. You're not going to hurt their feelings if you call them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You definitely wouldn't be the first person to ever do that.
I understand.
Okay, so I am going to award the eviction in your favor, which I told Mr. Evans, but I wanted to make sure you heard it. And can you tell me what the monthly rent was?
550 a month.
Okay,
And the last time I received rent from them was December 1st, whenever I gave them the 30-day notice.
okay. All right, well, I think we're done here unless you have something else you want to ask.
No, sir. I'd just like to thank you very much, Mr. Woodruff, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, you too. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
How do I disconnect? Just
Yeah. Okay, over here, you're gonna take a seat on that front desk, okay, right in front of the monitor. And then whenever
Yeah.
you're gonna take a seat right here,
Oh, okay.
right there.
Over there.
Yep, right there. All right.
Mr. Greeley, I'm just waiting on the Worthing property to connect, and we'll be with you in just a second, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning. Can you, Worthing property, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can't, Worthing, can you unmute yourself?
Sir.
There we go. I apologize about that.
All right, I think I can hear you now. All right, so I apologize if I'm getting feedback. Unfortunately, that's been dealing with this today.
Yes.
All right, so can the both of you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, my name is Judge Woodruff, and this morning we are having an eviction hearing for cause number 1698. This is Worthing Property Management versus Mr. James Greeley and all occupants. This property is located at 1810 7th Street. It is a rear apartment. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, before we get started, I'd like to get everybody sworn in. So if I could have you raise your right hands for me, please. All right, do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so how we're gonna do this is we're doing this a little bit different. I'm gonna have each of you speak at different times, and would like for you to not interrupt. If you don't agree with something that's being said, just take a mental note of it. And when I give you an opportunity to speak, I'll give you an opportunity to speak at that time. When people speak over each other over this Zoom, it's pretty much impossible to hear anybody speak. So if you guys could just keep that in mind, I would appreciate it.
I won't interrupt.
All right, so I'm going to let the Worthing property go ahead. And it looks like that your petition, you're stating that there's unauthorized animals on the property. The property is being unmaintained and some sort of Section 8 violations. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about each one of those?
So we went at the beginning of the year with Section 8 at the beginning of January to the property. We did an inspection on the 8th of January, and that inspection, we found that the property was unmaintained. It's infested with roaches. Food was left everywhere open. Inside the property, we found between 12 and 15 cats inside of the property, and this is a very small property. It's a 1-bedroom, but it's a rear apartment, so it's almost like the size of a garage. The house was infested with feces, bugs. It just wasn't able to be lived in. We were there with the inspector, Melissa Bedford. She came to us. She was unable to pass the unit because of this, and we discussed with Mr. Greeley the issues and what needed to happen so that he could be able to correct this. He's tried to clean the property. We contracted animal services, and we reached out. Our office did to APS to try to get some assistance because that property, he should not be able to live in there. He already has health conditions, and it is very dangerous. I know APS stepped in. I gave them information, and then I was kind of out of the loop of it, just as the person who contacted them. I know they were working with him, but property will not be able to be cleaned. He's even tried it. I mean, there's layers of feces throughout the whole property. Unauthorized animals. Section 8 is unable to approve him or continue on with payments because of this issue. We were trying to get him help, but weren't able to do that. So the owner is wanting to go ahead and go with the eviction.
Okay. So, so I guess you guys gave the 3-day notice. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We gave the 3-day notice. We posted that while we were there at the property with Section 8, which would have been on the 8th of January from my records.
Okay. So when, is this this apartment, is it behind a duplex or?
Yes, sir. So there's a front house that was split into 2 houses. So it's a duplex. And then he has a rear. It's about the size, I would say, of like a shed or a garage. It's a very property.
Okay, is this a property that you guys just recently got into, or is it something that y'all had for a while?
We have had it for a while. We were doing renewals with the owner. We're working on the front unit right now, just to be able, because there has been an infestation with bugs and animals. And we were trying to get that fixed. And that's when we went to Mr. Greeley. The owner himself went by and had asked him, we need you to pick this up and we need you to have the cats out of the property, because like I said, they were just defecating throughout his house. And it was just, he was literally living on that. And so the whole property is going to need to be completely, demolished. There won't be any way to correct it. And it's at this point, it's just a health hazard.
Okay. Did y'all have a lease with Mr. Greeley?
We did not. In our Section 8 agreement was ending at the end of February. And that was the only legal agreement we had, because the owner didn't want to continue with a lease agreement due to the conditions of the property until it got up to our normal standards.
Okay, so you're telling me at the end of February, there was no longer an agreement with Mr. Greeley?
Yes, no longer an agreement, and Section 8 stopped all payments.
Okay, but Section 8 was paying before that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how long did that go on? How long was he a part of Section 8?
He has been a part of Section 8 for as long as he's been with our office, which would have been 2.5 years, almost 3 years.
So he's lived in that one place for that long?
Yes, sir. When the owner did buy the property, he did let us know that there were issues, that he knew that there was unauthorized pets, and we had reached out then. And Section 8 did their inspection. Section 8 said it was fine. And then we were contacted by Section 8 to go meet at the property because we were concerned for the health hazards inside the property and for someone to be living in that.
Okay. And was there any talk between the management there trying to relocate him to a different place, or y'all wanting to just stop all relationships? He needed assistance, where I would almost say he needed assisted living or living with someone else, because he just, we kind of described that. Our communication with him, I just didn't feel like we were able to communicate with him properly to get understanding of what needs to happen, because we really were trying to help him. Okay.
The property has just gotten worse.
Okay, so the Adult Protective Services, when so you haven't received any information on the outcome of that?
No, I sent them the James's information, his email, James has been reaching out to us through Facebook, so I let him know that. And I let him know with the case, I sent them all of the information, and at that point, they kind of cut me out of the loop because I gave her all the information and she started her investigation.
Okay, and when did you do that?
That would have been on the 13th of January. It was right after, a few days after we had talked with Section 8.
Okay.
And Melissa was able to create her report for me because that had also helped give over to APS to let them know what was going on.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys doing that.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Greeley,
Yes, sir.
what's going on with you?
Well, the first thing I should tell you is the reason all this, I had trash, not just cats, it's because whenever COVID came, I was due to have my nerves in my back cauterized, so because I have 4 herniated discs, stenosis in my spine, sciatica, COPD, RA, and other things that I got injured working on the Dexboro State Jail where I was running a welding crew back in '99, I think, or late '90s.
Okay.
And I also had a cancer screening December. And they canceled both the cancer screenings and my cauterization. They cauterized the nerves in my back. They stick needles in there and run a current and heat it up and cauterize the nerves. Otherwise, before that 10 years ago, I couldn't walk without 2 canes. And so I've gone a year. February would have been a year without that procedure. Now, I still haven't got my neck done. I've got titanium plates on 3 sides of my neck. And I'm still waiting to get that because of, the winter storm.
Okay.
And so I got a cancer screen. They said I had a spot on my lungs. I've been sick, or too sick to even sit up in my chair for more than a couple hours in the morning. And my back's been the same way.
Okay.
So my
Mr. Greeley,
inspection started right during I was doing my procedure for my back to have it cauterized. And all while I was doing this, they were trying to inspect. I wasn't in any shape to do it.
Okay, so Mr. Greeley,
I'm going to have to go back and have my right leg my left leg redone because I pushed it too hard during all this, and it's hurting again. I haven't had to take pain medication for 2 years till, COVID came along, and I've just been on it for a few weeks.
okay. Well, Mr. Greeley, let me ask you a couple questions, sir. Has the Adult Protective Services, have they reached out to you?
I found a card on my door, yes, sir.
Have you called them?
I had called them once before years ago when I was having trouble with an eviction before, but they said they could do nothing for me.
Well, I'm thinking maybe, I think it might be a good idea for you to go ahead and reach out to them. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
You're on?
I'm gonna reach out.
You're on?
Yes, sir.
As soon as I get this procedure done, I can function normally.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds to me
while
that
it was canceled, there wasn't anything I could do.
Okay, but the problem is, Mr. Greeley.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
The problem is, sir, that the property that you are currently residing in is not livable.
No, I want to get out.
Okay, well then that's why.
Because
hang on, Mr. Greeley, let me talk, sir.
I'm sorry.
If you don't mind, it's okay. I really think that, in the situation that you find yourself in, not only just your health situation, but your living situation. We're gonna have to work and try to find you somewhere to go. And I
Well, I
think
have been cleaning the place up, but
Adult Protective Services is gonna be a good start to work on that. But you're gonna have to reach out to them. If you don't answer your door or you don't return their calls, it's gonna be difficult.
well,
Because I'm telling-
I wasn't there. I don't hide out.
Okay,
If there was something left over, it's because I wasn't there.
okay. Well,
And I did hear that story, and I
Mr.
wanted
Gray,
to show the owner
sir,
that I was
okay, once you
at
leave here
the
today,
doctor, but he
Mr.
didn't want to
Greeley.
look at it.
Mr. Greeley,
Yes, sir.
okay. I'm gonna need you to reach
Mhm.
out to that number on that card and give them a call. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to get out of your current situation. And you're not gonna have any choice but to do what's necessary in order to make that happen. And I think with Adult Protective Services, that's gonna be your best bet. And I'm gonna reach out to them today as well and have
All
them
right,
contact
yeah.
you. Because you're gonna end up having to leave this property and you're not gonna have a whole lot of time before you're gonna have to be out.
How much time will I have to get out?
Well, as the judge, I can only give you 5 days. Now, the 5th day from today falls on a weekend, so you're actually gonna have a full week. Well, it's not quite a full week, but till next Monday, which is March the 15th. So you don't have a whole lot of time and
No, I'll be out of there. You won't have no problem with me.
But I don't-
I used to,
well, Mr. Greeley,
I'll get out.
Mr. Greeley, I don't consider you a problem, sir. You're not a problem. We just need to work together and make sure that we have a place for you to go to, because I don't want you to be out on the street. Okay?
Well, I haven't had a chance to look, because whenever Secretary dropped me, it meant $300 more to pay.
Okay,
So,
well,
you
that's
know, and I
why,
can't pay my credit card. This is
Okay, well,
gonna
that's-
ruin my credit and everything.
that's why we need to reach out to Adult Protective Services. They're trying to reach out to you. And
I'll call them and see if they
Okay.
can help me in any way.
all right, well, you
Because I
promised
don't
me that
wanna
you're
go
gonna call them
back where I
today.
used to live.
Okay, well, you promised me you're gonna call them today, and then I'm gonna reach out to them this afternoon, and I'm gonna make sure that you called them. Okay? All right.
One thing for sure, Judge, I won't tell you a lot. If I say I'm gonna call, I'll call.
Okay, I appreciate that, sir.
I have their card.
You do seem like an
Y'all are
honest
the
person
ones
to me.
that saved me. I'm 10 years sober because of two probation officers, Jan Turner and Debbie Knupp. If you ever heard of them, tell them they didn't waste their efforts on me. I'm still a success story because I'm still 10 years sober.
Well, that's great, sir. Congratulations.
And
on
it
that.
was
right,
factors
so Mr.
beyond my control kept me from keeping things clean. Because if I could have, I would have.
Yep, that's why I think you need to be somewhere where you can have some help, and there's nothing wrong with that. And
But they're getting me fixed up. I should, whenever I don't have to take any pain pills for 2 years
okay,
till they just, cut off my procedures. Every 2 years, I go in and have them burned. And
okay.
that lasts me for 2 years. Don't have to take a drug or anything.
All right, Mr.
That-
Greeley, I'm gonna let you go ahead and leave this morning. Now, understand that you do have to be out of that apartment by next Monday, okay, sir?
Next Monday?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, have a good day, sir. You can go ahead and leave the courtroom.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
And tell Sandra I'm sorry for all
you
the
don't have nothing
trouble
to
I
be sorry
caused.
about. Nothing to be sorry about.
Thank you, Judge.
All right,
Thank all of you.
you're welcome, sir.
I appreciate it. I know y'all was trying to help me. I realize that.
All right, well, we're gonna
And
continue to
I
help
want to
you.
thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, so I'm going to rule in favor of you guys for the eviction.
Okay,
Now, he's got till next Monday.
I'm gonna talk with the owner to see what we can do, because I really want him to get in contact with APS. We're
Yeah,
not
well,
gonna-
we're going to reach out to him as well and see. I'm going to wait a little later to this afternoon before I do that.
Okay,
Give him an opportunity to try to reach out to him and see if he does. And if not, then we'll just let him know the situation. Of course, we'll just be telling him pretty much what you've already told him. But
yes,
at least the court will get involved in it and hopefully might maybe speed up some things because,
hopefully, because I mean, like I said, we want to get him help. We originally, when APS talked with me, they were like, well, we can try to help clean the property, and I was like, I don't think it's cleanable. Like, they're gonna have to move all the way to the baseboards and drywall. So it's like, if you guys can help him find somewhere else or find assistance, or he doesn't have family, so we were doing everything that we could. I mean, it was just a hard situation for both owner and the tenant.
right. Well, I mean, these situations happen and you do what you can do and hope for the best for him, but we'll stay on top of it and we'll see if we can get something taken care of for him. All right, so if you do need to get the writ of possession, hopefully you won't. If you do, you can get that on Tuesday.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, all right, thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I'm exhausted. All right, Ms. Roster, can you hear me, ma'am?
Hello,
Hello,
how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you ready to have some fun on Zoom?
Yeah, this is my first time and
Me
it's
too.
cool.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
It's been an experience so far.
Oh,
If I had any hair, I would have pulled it out by now, but we're gonna get through it. So it looks like Mrs. Hargrove, she did not show up at the court.
okay.
We don't see her here on Zoom, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that she's not gonna show up.
Okay.
So we'll get through yours, and we should get through it fairly quickly.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and call this to order. It's cause number 1688. This is Emerciana Roster versus Sharika Hargrove and all occupants. This
Okay.
property is located at 3307 Arthur Street in Wichita Falls. Is that the correct address, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Ms. Roster, let's get you sworn in. So just raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You have to say something.
Yes, sir.
All
I'm
right,
telling the
thank you.
truth.
It's usually I do.
All right, so Ms. Roster, it looks here on your petition, you're asking for unpaid rent. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, sir. It's been 3 months now since I
Okay.
filed it. It's been 3 months since they don't communicate with us anymore, and actually they don't have any contract with me anymore for a while. It's just they are month-to-month basis, and I don't know what happened that they stopped paying me when we have the COVID for the whole year last year. You know, I give them the ability to pay me twice a week, and I don't even charge them with late fees, and suddenly they just pay they just stop rent, and my husband went over there just to check on them and to tell them, you know, because nobody talking to us, messaging me or calling on the phone, they don't respond, and my husband go over there to ask them what's going on, why you all not responding our calls, and you're not paying rent. And since he called the police on my husband, and then
Okay.
that's what happened. So I'm guess I don't know what's going on, because until now they don't have communication with me. And I told him, actually yesterday, Saturday, I was there and I talked to her husband and told me that they don't have the money for it. And I said, I understand, but you have to understand my situation too. I have to pay mortgage, and
Right.
and
Well, Ms. Roster, let me ask you a question, ma'am.
okay.
So has any time since you filed this eviction against them, have they given you any documentation that says CDC declaration on it?
No, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I gave them some list of organization here in Wichita Falls to ask for help for rent.
Okay. All right.
I emailed them, I text them the forms and where to go. And then I actually also talked to her husband. If he doesn't have a job, I have a friend who is hiring actually a customer with us on where I work. I told him to go over there. I text him the address and the telephone number that they're hiring. I don't and he told me that he didn't go over there, and they said that they're not hiring, but actually they're hiring. Until now they're hiring a lot of people, so I just don't know what's going on with them.
Okay. All right. So they have not given you a CDC declaration. Okay.
No,
They
sir.
have not given us one either. All right. So on your petition, Ms. Roster, you are stating that they owe you $1,132 and
No, actually now, because it's 3 months since I filed, it's actually $2,592. $2,592 is what they owe us now.
Okay, now, Ms. Roster, is that only rent? That's not any late fees or anything like that, correct?
Can I remove? I actually charged them $67 for the rent of for January, February, March.
Yeah, rent late fees.
That is the late fees. I charged them with late fees, so
Okay,
that's why
well,
it come out.
well, I'm not gonna be able to give you the late fees.
Okay.
I can give you the rent. So you're
Okay.
telling me that they owe you 3 months of rent, is that correct?
3 months of rent.
Yes.
Yes, 3 months
Okay,
of rent.
and the rent is $675?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that comes out to $2,025.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so Mrs. Rosser, so this is what's gonna happen, ma'am. So I'm gonna award the eviction in your favor. Now, what that means is that the Hargroves are gonna have 5 days to vacate the property or to appeal my decision. Now, the 5th day is gonna fall on a weekend,
Mhm.
so they're gonna get pushed up until Monday, which is gonna be March the 15th.
Mhm.
Okay, so when you wake up Tuesday morning on the 16th of March and they haven't vacated that property or they haven't appealed, then you're gonna have to come back up here and file for writ of possession.
Okay, sir.
Now, hopefully they'll be gone and you won't have to do that. Because
How
we're gonna mail them this judgment, so they're gonna get a copy of it and it's gonna tell them exactly when they need to vacate the property.
Okay.
Hopefully they will, but if they don't, then on the 16th, you're gonna have to come back up to the court and file for the writ of possession.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right. Do you have any other questions for me before we end this?
No, thank you for everything, for help, because I'm really like need help to get them. I tried to help them. They live there for a
Okay.
while, and this is what happening.
Well, you did what you could, and unfortunately, you had to do what you had to do. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and hopefully I won't have to see you in a while. But if I do, hopefully we'll be back in person. We won't be doing it on Zoom anymore.
I hope so too, sir. Thank you so much. I
Thank you, ma'am.
appreciate it.
Have a
Okay,
good day.
bye. You too. Bye-bye. And 60.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Am I having deja vu? I've already seen you today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it looks like Markeisha Putney, she didn't show up to court here and she's not on Zoom, so I'm going to assume that she's not participating this morning. so we'll be able to go ahead and get this going. All right, so you are still sworn in to the court. And this is cause number 1684. This is Garcia Properties versus Markeisha Putney. And all occupants, this property is located at 1200 Monroe Street here in Wichita Falls, Texas. Is that the correct address, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it looks like you were asking property for Section 12, paragraph D. And also the tenants changing locks to the property. All right, can you go ahead and explain a little bit of that to me?
Basically, we're just doing it for violation of the lease. She did change all the locks. We've also got multiple letters from the city about all the junk in cars that she had outside on the grass and the sidewalk. And she's using the property for mechanics.
Okay. So is this a residence? It's not an apartment building, is it?
No, it's a house.
Okay. And the rent's $750?
Yes.
Okay. And I take it the Putneys are still living there?
Somebody's there.
Somebody is, okay. All right, so are you in a month-to-month lease with him or her?
Yes.
Okay. And I take it you did give a 3-day notice, correct?
Oh, well, yeah.
All right. All right, so I think we've explained it to you before. We're kind of in the same boat. They're going to have 5 days to appeal or to vacate. And oh, I'm sorry, you have a bond. My bad. All right, so I'm going to rule in favor of the plaintiff for lease violations, and I'm going to award immediate possession of the property. All right, do you have any questions?
Is it $271 that we have to pay?
It's 205.
$205.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the writ of possession.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll do
All
that.
right, we'll have that mailed out to you, the paperwork to you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, man. Thank you. All right, so I got Worthing. You get 2 of them? Worthing does? Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Hey, I apologize. I didn't mean to kick you off earlier. I didn't realize you had more. I just wanted to see if you knew what you were doing.
That's okay. This Zoom stuff is still new to me, but it's okay. I'm figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, me too. I don't like it. I'm ready to go back to in-person hearings.
Do you think they're gonna go back to in-person or are they gonna stay on like this?
Oh yeah, we're going back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going back and it's gonna be real soon too.
Okay.
Yeah, I like people being in front of me.
Yes, it's easier.
Yes. All right, so let's go to 1690, which is Ronald Petty.
Okay.
All right, so no one came to court this morning to use our facilities here, and no one is on Zoom, so I'm going to assume that they're not showing today. So this is number 1690. Worthing Property versus Ronald Petty and all occupants. This property is located at 1512 and a half Kent Street here in Wichita Falls. Is that the right address?
Yes.
Okay. And give me just a minute.
No worries.
They doubled our paperwork.
Ooh.
Okay, so looks like you're asking for possession of property for the condition of the property, maintaining the cleanliness and disturbances.
Yep.
Okay. So can you just give me a little brief rundown of that?
Of course, we just recently got this property. It's a duplex. I did my inspection on both sides. With the side with Ronald Petty, and I believe his wife is there sometimes, but I don't have her name or know for certain. But we did a walkthrough. They have a hoarding situation going on. We asked for it to get cleaned up due to pets and rodents being inside the house. They were getting Meals on Wheels delivered, and they were just stacking them on top of their stove. And the food was just rotting away right there on the stove whenever I went to do an inspection.
So they're
We
not
asked for them to-
eating it?
No, they were not eating it. So I reached out to them to let them know this because of the report for Meals on Wheels, because I feel like they should be giving the food to somebody who will be taking it, especially with everything going on right now. We got a phone call from the neighbor next door that the tenants were naked in the front yard, drunk. So we've called the police to this property 3 or 4 times. They said that they've been there for 12 years. We just got the property, I would say about 3 to 4 months ago. And they said they've been there for forever. It's their home. We sent them the notice. We don't have a lease agreement with them, so we asked them to leave, just due to them not cleaning up the property and continuous issues going on next door when the next door neighbors have nearly perfect cleaned property, and they have everything picked up. There was no issues, but they still have rodent and pest issues because of their neighbors next door.
Okay. And their monthly rent is $600, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna award possession of the property to you. It's gonna be an immediate possession.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next one. Is number 1691. This is Worthing Property versus Cheryl Maxwell and all occupants. This one is located at 1705 Pearl Avenue here in Wichita Falls, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, it looks like here they have, there's unauthorized occupants. It looks like they've got, excuse me. Yeah, man, I went down the wrong way. Some criminal activity on the property and excessive motor vehicles. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just go ahead and give me a little rundown on that.
Okay, this is the property. This tenant was behind on rent, but we were trying to work with her. This was the property that at the beginning of January, there was the shooting that had happened at the property where I guess it was allegedly our tenant's boyfriend had shot friends that they had over at the property. Of course, I don't know the full story. I'm just kind of going off of news and what we received from the police.
Yeah.
So we contacted the police to go over to the property on January 12th. To do a walkthrough with Sandra and I, because we didn't know who was at the property or if the tenant was there. There was all criminal activity. We needed to document it. So we went into there. We tried to make contact with the tenant. We believe she was at the property when we were there, and she flooded out the back door, when the police came with us, because we couldn't get in the back door. The next thing you know, the back door was open and like wide open and part of the fence. So we believe that she left. We haven't been able to make contact. She apparently had her alleged boyfriend staying at the property. I know she was arrested for a small portion in January, but there has been activity of her being at the house. So we are aware that she's there. So we're trying to get possession for eviction due to what has occurred at the property.
Okay. Yeah, it's my experience when people have a shooting up at their house, they usually do run out the back door. That's not unusual.
No, I mean, I understand that, but we kind of need to have contact with her though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the monthly rent for this one is $650. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So the court's gonna rule in favor of the plaintiff and award immediate possession of the property.
Am I able to file writs today then for that, or do I still need to wait?
No, you can file them today.
Okay.
Sure can.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome. Is that your last one? for
That was
today?
my last one. I only have
Okay,
three.
so I can kick you off and not have to worry about you coming back on then, right?
You don't have to worry about me. Have a good morning.
You too, ma'am. I didn't, no.